my name is Ben, otherwise known as the Traveller, and today I'm doing something different. I'm doing a top 10. Well, it's essentially a top 5 of two things. My top 5 animes of 2013 and top 5 games of 2013. Why? I'm a gamer and I like anime. And, you know, I want to see what works and what doesn't. So I'm going to go with the top 5 route, or if you want I can do a top 10, I don't care. I'm just trying to, you know, fill in a few things and make things a little bit more spaced out and more vibrant than just doing reviews. So, from the picture that you can see on the screen, you can probably guess I'm going to start with my top 5 animes of 2013. But first, I have a rule for it. 1. I live in the UK, so that means animes that were released in the UK between January 1st to December 31st are strictly available. I can use them, but I can bend the rules slightly by, I don't know why I chose these numbers, so don't ask. I can go to January 12th, 2014 and December 12th, 2012. Just to, you know, bend the rules slightly, but I've tried to stick in that range very clearly. Second of all, these are animes I specifically like. Same for the games. Kind of works equally between the two. But these are animes that I specifically like. If you have your own opinion, please put a list of your own in the comment section below. I want to hear what you guys say is your favourite animes of all time in 2013, whatever. Just make up your own list. I'm very curious. But time to get on with this. So, at number 5, I've chosen the Pokemon X and Y anime. This series has been going on for a very long time now, starting from the original Pokemon Generation 1 with Red, Blue, Green and Yellow, and we've now evolved into X and Y. Still, Ash is for some reason 10 years old, but that doesn't seem to stop him. He's still trudging along, collecting the gym badges, defeating the gym leaders, discovering who he is and training his Pokemon up. The series is doing something well if it's able to stick to about, I think we're on the 26th season if you think about it. I mean, for this purpose of the review, I've watched a few of the Japanese ones and I've seen 2 English dubs and the Genesect movie. And my god, Pokemon is still as great as I remember. Because I grew up with the first movie, Pokemon the first movie, with Mewtwo and Mew. And I loved it. I still have my Pokemon Y, I have Pokemon Emerald, Leaf Green, I think I've got Diamond and Pearl and Platinum somewhere. I also have Crystal as well for the original Game Boy, which I've still got. I'm surprised I kept. But the series is doing something well in order for it to continue going, and we have some new protagonists. I actually would give this a very much good watch. If you love Pokemon, go watch it. Trust me, it's a very good way to ease yourself in. Always start off with the start of the series. Don't jump in midway because it's not very good. At number 4, I've chosen a movie in this case because, yes, I'm bending the rule a little bit here, but it's still classed as an anime. Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods. Or God. No, it's Gods. It's Gods. I like this for one purpose and one purpose only. It was mind-blowing. I was a fan of the original Dragon Ball Z, and I've played the Dragon Ball Budokai games for the original PlayStation 2, I think some were released on. But I remember watching Dragon Ball Z when I was a little kid with my dad, and I enjoyed every second of it. I remember watching Goku, Vegeta, oh god, I can't remember any of the characters' names, so I'm very terrible. All I remember is Goku and Vegeta turning into their Super Saiyan forms. I remember Vegeta couldn't turn into Super Saiyan 4, unless he had help from an outside assistance, but Goku can turn into Super Saiyan 4, and why does he have that hair and a monkey tail and fur and eyeshadow? To quote Boomstick from Death Battle, fear the ultimate form with eyeshadow. But it's not really, I would say it's only good to those who are a fan of the Dragon Ball franchise and want to see how it's been progressing through the years. I say it was very well done and well scripted, Though I do believe Goku has changed a little, but I haven't caught up with a recent series, so I don't know if there was any plot development within that. You guys can probably answer that question for me, but I've just watched the episode. I was a bit of an idiot doing that, but you know, the purpose of the review, I watched a few animes before it. At number 3, I've chosen Sword Art Online. Now, where to begin? The characters. I came in this pretty much very late when Series 2 is actually announced now. I've got the trailer and stuff, I'll put it on. I just came in pretty late to this, but it is fantastic. I not really got that much into it. I can't really remember most of the characters, but I remember that loads of the action scenes are fantastic for a 2D style series. The characters are well structured. They show the growth of their elements. The friendship between the two main characters, the boy and the girl, I can't remember their names, Jesus. Their chemistry together on screen is amazing, and I think they have produced something that's very well done, and I really hope that Series 2 is exactly the same, even better than the first one. I am really looking forward to it, and I really hope they push their bar with what they've done. Yeah, I can say that for Sword Art Online. Also, fun fact, I also actually, I did have a replica of one of the swords, because I was actually looking after it for a friend, and she forgot about it, that I had the sword, until one day when she wanted to go cosplaying, I kept the sword, and she came over to my house and said, "Can I have the sword back?" I went, "Oh, I was liking it." But yeah, you know, I don't have the sword anymore. But I do remember that the swords do look amazing. Yeah, at number 2, it should be a kind of obvious one here because I've mentioned it before. I do reviews on it. RWBY, RWBY, red, white, black, yellow. Ruby, Weiss, Blake, and Yang. My God. Series 2 is released as well. Well, not released. The trailer's been released. I can't go into any more fandom than this. I love it. They have, well, it started off as a side project and then made itself into one of the most popular animes of all time. It's memorable, easy to understand, easy to follow. You can relate with the characters. Ever had a difficult childhood and always believed that you deserve everything you wanted? Weiss will connect to you. Ever feel like you need to protect out for one of your family members? You're like Yang. Ever feel like you need to keep a deep dark secret and afraid to tell anybody, but pretty darn cute at the same time? You'll basically relate to Blake. And Ruby, Sugar Rush kid on the 13-year-old Sugar Rush. Wait, that made no sense. 13-year-old, 15-year-old Sugar Rush, actually, yeah. That's the way I can see her. The 4 main characters are well done, well scripted, though I do believe some of them need a bit more character growth, which I may think we're going to see in Series 2. Or Volume 2, whichever one you want to say. The actual teachers, like Ozpin and Goodwitch and the rest, they're all amazingly well done. Some of the actual other characters, like the Teen Cardinal, are a little bit like cardboard. Pretty much they're just there for the evil, but due to the Volume 2 trailer is out, you can actually see that they may actually regrow the characters to be a lot more structured and a bit more lifelike. So they may become a bit more, what's the word? Let's just say not one-dimensional characters. They'll become 3-dimensional characters, and they'll become a lot more better as time goes on. Now, at number 1 of my top 5 animes of 2013, I have chosen Attack on Titan. Shock! Ben chose Attack on Titan over RWBY, but he's doing the reviews. Why did you do this? Well, why? It's had a lot more time to structure its characters, and I've been more dealt with in it than ever. I have the manga. I have necklaces of it. I have the 3DS game. I have played the fan-made game. You kinda can see why I love it too much. I am addicted to it. I have actually got the pendants. I won't put a picture because I'm technically showing myself. Well, I've seen myself before, but you know what I mean. I have got the pendants. I've got like loads of them, shiny pendanty stuff, which looks so cute. But the characters are well amazing. Eren Yeager, Mikasa, I can't remember, is it Akasai or something like that? But Mikasa, Eren Yeager, Aramin. Oh, it's hard trying to remember all these characters at once. Marco, I remember Marco because I always think of Marco and Polo. Annie, because she's the female Titan. Spoilers, actually, I should have said that. Spoiler alert, Annie is the female Titan. Ian Yeager is a male Titan. I wonder why. No idea. Brother and sister. Could be, I don't know. I've not watched that far. Don't spoil me. But yeah. I've read the books. I've read Before the Fall, and I've read up to 8 now. I've read 8 of the original Titanfall series, and I've also read Junior High, which is one of the other spin-off series. It's a good read. I do admit, everyone who may not even be a fan of Attack on Titan, just go read them. Please, just go read them. Just for me. Come back with your feedback. It is just a fantastic thing. The anime itself, well visualized. It shows the gripping fear of the Titans. Sure, they look silly, but you do feel scared on their presence because they're bigger. But you also feel happy when the Survey Corps appears, or the military police. Don't know why they call them that, but they do. I think it may be a mistranslation, I don't know. But you feel happy when they're arrived and they've sliced their way through Titans defending civilians. Sure, when some of them dies, if you don't know them, you do feel sorry for them because the plot and the music and the characters makes you feel for them. You feel like you used to know them and they've just sacrificed themselves for the will of mankind. And that's why I've chose it as my #1 anime of 2013. That is also not the reason why I also have a crush on Mikasa. Everyone does. You have to admit, she does look cute. I admitted that to the world. I am a disgrace. Anyway, on with the top 5 games of 2013. At number 5, I have a game for the PS3 that you may all... Well, I think it was released for the PS4. I don't remember, but I only remember it for the PS3, which is Beyond Two Souls. Now, I played this game with my cousin. I didn't understand what it was at first, but it's a cinematic game which basically is structured around a little girl with a spirit that follows her. I think it's her brother, I don't recall, but this was one. Let me think. It was the only game that made me cry because of the ending. Only because of that. I laughed my way through, even through death scenes. I swear, this game has a vendetta to make me cry. I can't, like, laugh, I try, I just cry. Even if I pretend not to, there is a tear. There's always a tear shed when I see the ending to that game. So, you know, I have a vendetta against that. But yeah, this game is a must-pick. If you've got a PS3, go get it. Trust me, it is a fantastic game. I need to delve more in it. That's why it's, you know, up the top of the list at number 5. I don't really have a specific place to put it. But yeah, at number 4, I have chosen Saints Row 4. Why? Well, I'm a big fan of the original Saints Row franchise. Saints Row 1 had the gangster element to the max. Sure, it had a few glitches there, but that doesn't mean the fanbase was growing large, and it was the only thing to repel GTA San Andreas. Then Saints Row 2 came out and showed Saints Row at its highest, with the civilians making themselves more lifelike, the characters a bit more in-depth. Sure, it may look a little goofy with the walking styles and stuff, but it still was fun to play. Then Saints Row 3 came out. It took away the original gangster element that Saints Row 1 and 2 had developed. Some of the characters had gone missing and some of the plot threads were not resolved. But that doesn't mean it was a darn terrible game. Then Saints Row 4 was released. Now, I need to go into a little back history. I only became a fan of the Saints Row franchise after seeing one of my friends let me borrow Saints Row 2 from them. I got Saints Row 2 and I started playing. I then heard there was a third game that was out, so I bought that. I looked at them and said they were 2 completely different games. I also looked on April 1st and found out that they were creating a 4th one called Enter the Dominatrix, which was a DLC for number 3. Then I believe THQ was abandoned. By that time, they said, no, this can become its own game, so they created Saints Row 4. Until I figured out what it was Enter the Dominatrix. It's Saints Row 4 with superpowers. Sure, I've got a little problem with that. I'm, as part of the Saints Row franchise, it is more or less a train wreck, because you are basically taking away the gangster element and putting something new in it. But as its own game, it is fun. It's like Prototype and, let's think, Prototype, Dead Rising a little bit sometimes. It's hard to really say. It's loads of games in one. Let's just say that. It is just a good game on its own merits. Okay, it's just a great game on its own merits. And I've had some personal laughs with it. I've had some personal laughs with some friends and stuff. We've all got together and activated cheats and just had a little fun with it. So, there's always that. At number 3, I've chosen Dead Space 3. Why? Well, I'm a fan of horror games. I'm a big fan of them. There's not really much to say about Dead Space 3. It's one of those games where you can only quote by saying, go play it to understand my point. So, that's what I'm saying. Go play it to understand my point. Or watch a Let's Play on it. Trust me, you won't get scared from it. It's best to be played to be scared in a dark room at midnight with some popcorn and 3 of your friends. That's what I did. But trust me, it is a great game to play, an experience for yourself, but I do advise you play the other 2 games as well before diving into Dead Space 3. I did have a go with Dead Space 1 and 2 before, and then I got to have a go with Dead Space 1 and 2 completely, thanks to a bit of help from Steam. So yeah, I got to have a go with that, and then yeah, everything delved together and the pieces fit into my head. And let's see, number 2 on the video game top 5 video games of 2013 list is Fire Emblem Awakening. Why is Ben choosing Fire Emblem Awakening as one of the top 5 games of 2013? I hear you cry. Well, I'm a big fan of Fire Emblem. Boom. I love it. Fire Emblem Awakening showed you something new and took the 3DS's graphics capability not to the max, but to its brim. Like at the point blank there. At the point blank line. You can't see me, but I'm basically rubbing my hands up and down between each other. That sounds so weird. I'm basically saying that one of my hands is the line, the other one is basically saying you're on the tip of the line. But this game shows you that the 3DS is capable of so much potential. And I think that Nintendo has created a great handheld. 2DS. Oh yeah, I quoted that. Enough rambling on now. Finally, to enter my number 1 game of 2013. Now, this will become a very big surprise, but I will go into a little history without spoiling the game. When I was a wee little kid and I used to have my Xbox 360 for the first time, I heard of a game that was story driven with hints of science. They created 2 games and a DLC. I played the second game. People said it was a downfall compared to the first game, but it wasn't terrible, but it was okay. I find their points to be corrected. It was a great game, but not standable to the first, until the third one came out. You could say it was infinitely better than the first and the second combined. Yes, everybody, it's BioShock Infinite, the 3rd game in the franchise. It showed its life and potential between the cutscenes and the addiction to the characters. This game changed my life, if you so choose. I thought at one point I would actually have to go down this road before, dealing with things I didn't want to. Until I learned there's a whole other way. There's multiple universes, multiple chances, and multiple theories that could come between anything and your future. So, in shorter terms, You're living a world where, in another universe, you could be older. In another universe, you could be younger. You don't know. You got a whole lot of possibilities that could happen, and all you're going to find out is have fun while looking forward to them. I think that was a good way to end it off as well. Thank you for basically paying attention to me ramble on about my top 5 games and 5 animes of 2013. If you have any discussions that you want to basically put down, or you want to create a list of your own, make a video response, or put yourself, well, make sure if you put a video response, put a link in the description so I don't basically ruin you and I can't find it. But thank you for watching. If you've got your own list, put it in the description below. If you've got anything else to ask, put it in the description below. If you want to also talk to me, I will reply to your comments. Maybe, because I'm a little busy bee and I have some stuff to do. So I will reply to your comments, just maybe not in a few hours, or maybe a bit later. I don't know. Thank you everybody, and I hope you have a pleasant day, evening, night, whatever it is you're doing. Have fun, make sure you come back for more, and remember to stay happy. Doodles everybody.